You're walking to your car at night. The parking lot is empty. Nothing is wrong. And yet your heart is pounding, your eyes are scanning the shadows, and every instinct in your body is screaming at you to hurry. Nothing chased you, nothing touched you, but your brain is already convinced you're about to die. That reaction feels irrational. It isn't. You are running software that is roughly 2 million years old, and it was not built for parking lots. It was built for something far older, far darker, and far more permanent than most people realize. For most of human history, you were not the smartest animal in the room. You were prey. Before you were a farmer, before you were a builder, before you were anything resembling modern, your ancestors spent millions of years being hunted. Big cats stalked them. Hyenas circled them. Crocodiles waded in the water they needed to drink. Anthropologist Donald Hart and biologist Robert Sussman spent years studying the fossil record of early hominins, and what they found was startling. Predation wasn't rare, it was routine. Bite marks on ancient skulls, claw marks on bones, evidence over and over that being eaten was simply part of being human. Think about what that does to a species. Generation after generation, the individuals who survived were not the calmest ones. They were the most alert ones. The ones who heard a twig snap and ran first, asked questions later. The ones who never fully relaxed. That's not a flaw. That's the entire design. Your nervous system was shaped by an environment where hesitation meant death. So it built a shortcut. A fast, crude, brutally efficient alarm system that could override rational thought in a fraction of a second. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping this system inside the brain, and he found its command center in a small almond-shaped cluster of neurons called the amygdala. Almond-shaped. That's literally what the word means in Greek. The amygdala doesn't wait for you to think. It doesn't consult your logic. It reacts first, and it reacts to almost nothing. A shape in the dark, a sudden sound, a shadow that moves wrong. It fires before your conscious mind even knows what it saw. Why would evolution build something so trigger-happy? So imprecise? Because a false alarm costs you a few seconds of adrenaline. A missed threat costs you your life. When those are the two options, evolution doesn't care about precision. It cares about survival. A brain that jumps at a stick that might be a snake will make you look foolish sometimes. But a brain that ignores a snake because it might be a stick only makes that mistake once. This is why you flinch at a shadow before you consciously register what it is. This is why a sudden noise behind you triggers a full-body reaction before you've even turned around. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's running an ancient program that kept your ancestors alive long enough to have children, who eventually had you. Here's where it gets stranger. Your body cannot always tell the difference between an actual predator and a modern stand-in for one. Psychologist Robert Sapolsky, who spent years studying stress physiology in primates, found something remarkable. The same cascade of hormones that floods a gazelle's bloodstream when a lion is chasing it is nearly identical to the cascade that floods your bloodstream during a tense email from your boss. Cortisol spikes, heart rate climbs, blood moves away from digestion and toward your muscles. Your body prepares to run or fight. But there is no lion. There is no chase. There is only a blinking cursor and a deadline. Your ancient alarm system doesn't know the difference between a predator and a Tuesday afternoon. It just knows that something feels like a threat, and that's enough to hit the switch. This is the trap. The system built to save your life over 1 million years ago now fires constantly in a world that no longer contains the danger it was built for. You don't get chased by lions anymore, but you do get a notification, a tense meeting, an argument you're replaying at 2 a.m. Your body treats all of it the same way it would treat a claw swipe from the dark. Consider what happens when you walk into a dim room and think, just for a second, that someone is standing in the corner. Your pulse spikes before your brain even processes what your eyes are looking at. Then the light switches on. It's a coat on a hook. Nothing more. You laugh it off. But that half second of pure terror? That was your ancestors' survival system working exactly as designed. It just had the wrong target. There's a term for this pattern, one used by researchers studying anxiety and threat perception, the smoke detector principle, a phrase popularized by evolutionary psychiatrist Randolph Nesse. A smoke detector that only goes off during actual fires is a badly designed smoke detector because by the time it detects a real fire with certainty, the house may already be burning. So instead, smoke detectors are built to be oversensitive. They go off when you burn toast. They go off when you take a hot shower. Annoying, yes. But that oversensitivity is the point. Your brain is the same kind of alarm. It would rather be wrong 100 times than miss the one moment that actually mattered. And there's a deeper layer here, something even stranger than fear itself. Anthropologists have long noted that early human groups didn't just fear predators individually, they feared them collectively, and that fear shaped how they lived, how they slept, and even how they told stories. Fire wasn't just for warmth, it was protection, a boundary predators respected. Sleeping in groups wasn't just social comfort. It was safety in numbers, because a predator hunting a group faces more eyes, more alarms, more chances of being spotted before it strikes. Some researchers, including paleoanthropologist Donna Hart, have argued that this shared vulnerability may have even shaped the origins of human social bonding itself. If you needed the group to survive the night, you needed the group to trust you, and you needed to trust it back. Fear didn't just protect individuals. It built the very glue that held early human communities together, which means the anxious, hyper-alert wiring in your brain right now isn't some broken leftover. It's a piece of the same system that made you a social creature in the first place. The same instinct that made your ancestors flinch at a shadow is the instinct that made them huddle closer to the fire, closer to each other, and closer to survival. So what do you do with a brain like this? A brain built for savannas and shadows, now living in offices and apartments? You cannot switch it off. Nobody can. But understanding it changes something. The next time your heart races over an email, or your stomach drops before a phone call you don't want to make, or you feel that prickle on the back of your neck walking to your car, you can recognize the machinery underneath it. That's not weakness. That's not a flaw in you personally. That's 2 million years of evolutionary history firing exactly as it was built to fire, just aimed at the wrong century. Your body is still bracing for a predator that vanished from your world a long time ago. And in a strange way, that's almost comforting. It means the fear you feel isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof of exactly how you got here. Every ancestor who felt that same jolt of fear and survived it is the reason you exist to feel it too. So the next time you're walking to your car in an empty parking lot and your senses spike for no visible reason, remember what's actually happening. You're not overreacting. You're being hunted, just not by anything that's still alive to catch you.